Hi, Rudy. Thanks for accepting this meeting. Won't you take a seat?
What meeting? We record this remotely. I'm in my room.
That's great. How are the wife and kids? Does Cheryl still make that delicious apple pie? Oh, I hope you saved me some.
Who's Cheryl? That's not my wife's name.
Excellent. That's great. Classic Rudy. Give my love to Cheryl. Anyway, Rudy, I wanted to talk to you today about something that is sort of serious.
Right, okay.
You see, I've been talking to the marketing boys about the podcast, which they love, by the way.
Marketing boys? We have a marketing team, do we?
Oh, of course we do. And anyway, they have concerns that we're starting to do more sketches and move away from giving the hard-hitting gaming news and reviews. Indeed, they're worried about our listeners being put off by all the zany sketches that we've been putting out. You know, last month we had a Silence of the Lambs skit all about me being damaged by the Cyberpunk release date.
Skit? I mean, I actually had to visit you in a psychiatric facility. You know, there were files and stuff.
Or that time we became wrestlers and we tried to get listeners that way.
That was you, and I got beat up doing it. I still haven't coaxed my left testicle out.
But what about the time we let that goose into the studio?
Well, that was comedic genius. Come on, let's face it.
Anyway, the top brass have been chatting, and we probably need to move away from that kind of sketchy material.
Why?
Well, you know, this is a gaming podcast for gamers, and gamers want to know what we've been playing. Even if it's the same game we played in the previous episode. They want our hot takes on the latest gaming scandals. They want to know what we've purchased from retro shows and fairs, and what our favourite 90s console was, 16, 32-bit. Ooh. They don't want a gaming podcast where we create our own political party and run for office.
Look, that would have worked if you hadn't split the electorate with your rival party in the end.
Details, Rudy, details. Anyway, the point is that we want to elevate the Jambags brand, and to do that, we need to stop with the silly sketches and pretend meta pop culture gaming references and homages. We need to be more like the competition. I mean, how do we sell the Jambags gaming podcast? How many young gamers would know a Silence of the Lambs homage anyway? If it didn't launch on Netflix last week, it's already been forgotten about.
Well, I mean, I can see your point, Dante, but I mean, the thing is that it's not really up to me, is it?
What do you mean by that, Rudy?
Well, I mean, it's, you don't need to talk it to me, do you? You need to be talking to, Gary the Gamer.
Who? Gary the Gamer?
Hey there, Dante. It's me, Gary the Gamer. I like playing video games and getting outraged. I like the Jambags podcast as it is. I no need for change. In fact, I fear change.
No, Rudy, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can't have a puppet on the podcast.
Who are you calling a puppet, you SJW cuck? Whoa, Dante. Looks like Gary is a pretty entitled alt-right gamer. Good thing you aren't female, eh? Anyway, still, might want to tread a bit more carefully around Gary, yeah?
What? Why do we even have a puppet? How's that going to work in a medium that's based purely on sound? No one but me can even see him. That's because you've got him in front of the webcam.
I don't think so, Dante. I mean, I'm a real gamer just like you. The audience will love me. I can do or say things that young gamers do, unlike you, old man.
Such as?
I like Ninja and PewDiePie, being unsportsmanlike in games, and I Twitch stream myself screaming Rudy words at kids who try and best me at Call of Duty. I am down with the kids, Dante. I'm the missing demographic.
No. This just doesn't work. It's clearly you, and you can't at all throw your voice and do ventriloquism.
That's it, you libtard. I'm about 2 seconds away from doxing you. Oh boy, Dante. I don't think that Gary the Gamer appreciates what you're saying. You better listen to him. Young gamers these days be crazy. You know the acronym. YGBC.
This isn't even funny. It does not work on a podcast.
Or is it really meta, Dante? Is it really meta? Is this whole thing not actually a sketch in itself? Are you not a part of it? Yeah, Dante, this shit is all meta and shizzle.
Wait, no, this is a serious conversation. I'm trying to get this podcast back on track. We need to appeal to a broader fan base and stop doing ridiculous sketches.
With our marketing guys, Dante, calling Rudy in for a meeting? You real sure this isn't a sketch?
No, I researched it. No, the whole thing is because of our demographics and stats.
Do you even know what a demographic is, Dante? Are you even having a meeting right now? Is this all part of some sketch? I mean, yeah, Dante. How can you be sure you aren't the one doing a loosely based gaming comedy sketch?
My God, you're right. The whole setup, the whole thing's just another sketch. There's no way out.
That's right, Dante. Accept the inevitable. We are all doomed to do barely listenable sketches for the rest of our lives. Embrace it. Join us. Yeah, Dante. Join us.
Okay. I submit and accept. You win.
And I agree too.
What? Who are you?
I'm Social Justice Sally. I'm here to say that Gary the Gamer offends me.
Oh, God. And welcome back, Jambaggers, to another episode of the Jambags Gaming Podcast with myself, Rudy Manchego, and my wonderful co-host,
Mr. Dante Rodriguez. And it's been a February month where not a great deal has happened in gaming, if I recall.
That is true. This is another episode where we are really twiddling our bits to try and think of things to talk about. But one thing I think it should be quite clear, Dante, that we shouldn't... Well, I want to just warn everyone that the world is in the grip of the coronavirus at the moment, the COVID-19,
yes.
as it's been designated.
Again, has it, by the time this podcast goes out, do we think it may be a pandemic by that point?
It's teetering on the edge right now, as it is. There's several countries in Europe that are getting mass infections. It's getting worrying. It's probably going to be here, and But what I wanted to do is just say that there is only one joke in this podcast about the coronavirus or COVID-19. We felt that it's hard to ignore that, and it is gaming related. But I wanted to say that if people are listening back, and it has caused a pandemic, and there have been people who are very poorly, if you've been poorly or any family members have been poorly or anything bad has happened, that obviously we didn't know that was going to happen, and the joke we made was gaming related. So cut us some slack if you're listening back in 6 months' time, catching up on our backlid, and you don't like what we've written. I just wanted to make that clear, yeah?
Yeah, no, we don't want people to think that we are insensitive about it when things are really bad. I mean, it's just kind of on the fringes at the moment. So, yeah, I think one or two jokes is probably okay. But
just
when
one
it gets
joke,
serious, then we'll stop.
Definitely just one joke. Yeah, one joke, I think.
Just the one. Okay, all right.
But I mean, it's a scary thing. Just imagining what the world will be like. Have you had any thoughts about about how it might affect you?
Well, I mean, you can tell it's different because you see that it's. You see it in the news, but then it's on the streets around you, and then there's running and screaming and horribleness. Yeah.
And it's 28 days later quotes like that, Dante, that have made me go to my local zoo and bash the brains of 3 monkeys in, just on the off chance that they're coronavirus carriers.
Yeah, no, you really don't want to let them let that slide. I mean, can't be too careful in these cases.
Yeah, well, I won't even have a couple of PG tips in case there's been a monkey around it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not taking any risks. It's the monkeys start most of these things. I bet you someone was eating monkey in China and they got ill from its arse or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that sounds like something that would happen, and then they became infected with the coronavirus, or the rage, as I'm now calling it.
Yeah, and I think, okay, so to be quite clear, there are 2 jokes in this episode. We are just made one there. We've made a bit of a joke about coronavirus there, and there's one more further on, but I swear 2 jokes is our limit. No more.
Yeah.
Whoa, was that a third?
No, that's just a cold no. Mm-mm.
Right, okay, because you know what happened to those monkeys. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Let's move away from the rising pandemic and terror which is impending, and just say that we've got ourselves an internet beef, Jambags.
We do. We are currently at internet war with the staff at Any Button Gaming.
Mm-hmm. So this is Any Button Gaming, a great gaming website, news, reviews, some really top people based in the UK. Really like the guys, but we decided that we needed to beef with someone. This is how the internet works. We're not going to get anywhere without some kind of beef. And I don't actually know what they mean
some
by
kind of
beef,
conflict.
We've got one. Yeah, we need some exactly. So we threw some shade at them by asking if they wanted a beef, and they said they'd be up for a beef. And then I think customary at this point, we both said it's on via GIF form on Twitter and social media.
It was on very much like Donkey Kong, I believe. Was the phrase.
That was definitely, it was a Billy Mitchell Donkey Kong on kind of thing. So we're in, and we're not really sure how much more. We've sent a few more sarcastic comments to each other. There've been a couple more gifs. One of them was quite rude. Someone may have made an accusation about someone's mama.
Yes, there was quite a few back and forth with the mama, your mama. So yeah.
so try that on Twitter. But there's a potential that over Easter we may be having a face-to-face diss match with Anybody Gaming if we can all make a gaming convention together. And probably what will happen is there'll be some serious, probably some more gifs and comments on social media, and then we'll make friends and then collaborate with each other and cross promote, because that's really what internet beefs are about.
Oh yeah, no, I've been meaning to call those guys out for like ages, to be honest. Anyway, I have no idea what actually calling out really means.
I was going to say, what are you calling them out for? Just for tea?
Yeah, just calling them out to play some games of Knockout Ginger and the rest of the street. Just randomly knock on some houses and run away.
Yeah, I mean, and those houses deserve it. So I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a beef. So I just wanted to say that if things do get a bit violent, if things on social media get a little bit there's any rude words flying around, any accusations, we haven't lost our minds. We are embroiled in internet beef. So guys, Anybody Gaming, if you're listening to this, and these guys have promoted us before, we thought they were our friends, but now it appears they've stabbed us in the back, or we've stabbed them. I don't know.
They've talked crap about our mums, as we may have talked crap about their mums first, but still, we can't let that slide.
Mums were involved, and so we'll probably work it all out, or probably someone will get shot dead. I don't know. That's how it seems to work in rap.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of goes either way, doesn't it? It either resolved amicably, where people reveal that it was just a sham and they actually really like each other, or someone gets shot.
Yeah, and right now I'm not sure the way it's going to go. Do you?
No, I'm looking forward to finding out. I mean, I've just updated my will, so...
You are well prepared. I know what, I should do the same thing. I also probably should invest in a gun and some Kevlar.
Whoa! Well, that's catapult or lower. Surely this is a gentleman's gauntlet, right?
Oh, do we need rapiers and swords?
I think so. We need a dirk and possibly a dagger, which may be a certain type of dirk.
Dirk, as in like Dirk or Dirk Gently or Dirk Diggler.
Well, to be honest, the only thing resembling a weapon I have in my room is a scare and do, which I had to wear for a Scottish wedding one time. Which is again, it's a kind of dirky dagger thing. So
you got a dirky dagger. Okay, well, you got a dirky dagger. Well, take your dirky dagger, and I'll get. When I said gun, I'm probably getting one of those old flintlock pistols, from the old dueling. You have to take like 14 minutes to reload.
I'll go on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney and get one of those fake flintlocks.
Yeah, get one of those. That'd be good. Okay, so I mean, just so everyone know, the beef is on. It can only end in friendship or death. So bring that on.
Yes.
But okay, Don. So shall we move on into our news? We've got quite a busy show today.
We do. We have plenty of things in the Jambags. And hello Jambaggers, welcome to our regular news segment from the Jambags. We've got quite a few news stories to talk to you about today, so we're going to kick off with our first story, which is about a company you may have come across called EA. We don't talk about Anthem much at all on this show, not every other podcast whatsoever.
No.
EA are talking about Anthem again, and they have promised a complete remaster, rebuilding it from the ground up completely. Basically, another game in its place.
Wow.
If millions of more people buy the game as it is.
Wow, this is big.
It's like, they're going to completely redirect any resources they had for building a sequel to actually making a game that people want to play.
Well, that is interesting. This is quite a massive gamble they're taking here. I mean, this is a big gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure. Do you think it's going to work?
No.
No, me neither.
No,
it sounds like a terrible idea.
This is ridiculous. This is an old loved pet. Well, not even a loved pet. This is a stray dog that's probably got mange and rabies that just needs to be taken out back and just shot. In fact, no, I can tell you what this is. Let's get all literary. Do you ever read the book To Kill a Mockingbird, Dante?
I feel I should have, but I must say no.
Or seen a very, very good film. Anyway, there's a scene in that where there's like these kids in the 1930s in the US find like a dog that's probably got rabies, and it's like walking on the street, and their dad comes along, and they always thought it was a bit sad, but turns out it was a good shot with the rifle, and they basically explains that dog needs to be put down, and they shoot it. Well, that little dog in To Kill a Mockingbird is Anthem.
Yes.
And EA needs to be Atticus Finch and just,
I mean, if we extend the metaphor, is the dog actually Anthem, or is it BioWare completely? Because having been a big BioWare fanboy in the past, I'm feeling a little bit like a crisis of faith here.
Well, maybe I'd put it a bit further. Maybe the dog is BioWare, and the rabies is Anthem. It's driven it mad.
So can we cut the rabies out? Or I'm through the looking glass.
Can you treat a dog for rabies? I don't know. I'm not a vet. I wouldn't try. That's my verdict.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a bad plan all round. I really hope BioWare as a studio can come back from Anthem, but I think with a game that's been out this long and had this much bad press, it's probably better just to cut your losses and make something else that's new and better.
Yep, that's it.
It's like Old Yeller, isn't it? Old Yeller, that's a film with a dog that gets shot, right? They talk about it on Friends.
I think you watch too much on YouTube. Anyway, let's go on to another piece of news now. I think, apart from shooting dogs, so
we do that every podcast, don't we? We threaten violence towards dogs or kittens. That's a running theme with us.
It's become a trend, actually. And the thing is that I don't really have anything against dogs or cats or pets.
No,
I would never do such a thing, but. For some reason, we always go to that place. So if anyone does listen, we really don't. We really don't.
I just think it's funny, but I don't actually want to hurt any living creatures really, apart from
pandas,
certain political figures. Oh yeah, pandas too. Because that's
pandas. They're wackers. Pandas are just fucking assholes. Anyway, let's move on. New piece of news. Every single major game publisher is now pulling out of every single big game expo. We're talking E3, we're talking PAX, we're talking Gamescom, we're talking JamCon, which is our own convention, which admittedly no one ever actually signed up for, to be honest.
Oh, what? Really? We had such a good idea for a con that had jam in it.
I think con is the main word that a lot of places... We couldn't even get a venue secured. I managed to get the corner of a local Costa, and that wasn't enough to secure any main chat. Anyway, but basically, you've seen it first. It's been like a bit of an avalanche. Sony pulled out of E3, then several other publishers pulled out of E3, and talking, and everyone's realised that it doesn't make any sense for all the games industry to come together at several points in the year and promote their games and focus attention and collectively. What they really need is to put out a press release for every different publisher every other or video or something like that every other day, so that we're constantly bombarded with new things from different companies and we don't know what to do or when it's going to happen. And that's really what's going to be a lot better for the companies. So we can expect probably videos from all the major publishers and all the game releases announcements 2 months, 2, 3, 4 times a week now, and we just won't even know what to get excited about, and that's better.
I think they need to stop making big game announcements at these big expos and literally just use these expos as an opportunity to get up and stand in front of the gaming audience and apologise for all the shitty practices that they've been doing in video gaming.
Oh, you went straight in the political side there, didn't you?
Well, the whole... What was his name? J. Allen Brack? I think we haven't come up with a character to parody him yet.
Yeah, we do need to do that, actually. We probably should have put more thought in the script. Anyway, yeah, no, I agree. It was a complete douche. So, yeah, admittedly.
Yeah, no, that's... again, I think that's the future for gaming conventions, is no more games, just fessing up and trying to have a sort of slight public relations win when you've been caught doing something a bit shady.
Yeah, I think it'll be a video every single other day, and then probably quarterly apologies in games conventions. So there'll probably to be a queue of executives. It's one big combined show, a bit like the Game Awards, and they had like the guys from Nintendo and Sony and Phil Spencer's jacket and stuff on stage, and they did like a little skit together. Instead, there'll just be a queue of execs going like, and basically every sentence will start off with, "We hold ourselves up to high standards. I'm afraid this time we didn't quite meet them." They won't actually apologise. We're sorry. They'll just say, we didn't hold ourselves to high enough standards, or we didn't fulfil ourselves, or we had the opportunity to do something, we didn't quite do it.
I think
cheers.
The closest you'll get will be something along the lines of "I take full responsibility," which isn't actually a sorry. It's just it's on me, which clearly it is. But again, no apologies coming forth from that one.
Yeah, it's a bit like someone's put sugar in your gas tank and is then going like, I take full responsibility for emptying this entire bag of sugar in it. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. I've still got a f***ed car and no apology. But anyway, but that's probably the future of game conventions. Videos all the time, followed by quarterly apologies.
Yep, that's what to look out for. Okay, moving on to our next story of the podcast. And it's quite a positive story, this one. We have heard that sales of the most recent Leisure Suit Larry game, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, has been sales of that game has skyrocketed in the wake of the Jambags produced Netflix series.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, that's something we've done that's had a positive impact on gaming.
I mean, I've got to be honest, since you sort of ran with it as director and producer a few episodes ago, I'll be honest and say that I haven't really checked it out on Netflix. So, I mean, how did it go with Netflix?
Well, technically, I mean, I called it a Netflix series, but it didn't actually make it onto Netflix. It's on a different service.
Okay, well, I mean, so we're on what, Prime? Amazon Prime?
Well, no, not Prime so much. No, one of the others.
Have we gone back to our roots? We've gone to YouTube kind of thing. So
YouTube
video.
Yeah, we did try it on. It didn't quite pass the quality test for YouTube. No.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the
YouTube. Other ones. Daily Motion.
Yeah, that kind of like the bargain basement YouTube. Yeah, still not quite highbrow enough for them. Sorry.
Vimeo.
Yeah, no, they laughed at us but not in the way that we wanted them to laugh with the series. They just laughed me out of the.
Did we edit it down and put it on TikTok? I don't even know what TikTok is, but people keep telling me TikTok's a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a thing people younger than me are supposed to do.
Fair enough.
Could Gary the Gamer weigh in on that at all?
It's really cool. I don't actually know what he's saying. So 4chan, come on, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. 4chan.
Well, yeah, I mean they kind of liked it, but they didn't think we were alt-right enough, and we didn't have enough sort of pro-nationalistic imagery in the series, so they kicked it out.
Oh, God. Where then?
It is currently hosted on Bebo.
Bebo, does that still exist?
I hope so, because that's where it's supposed to be. But yeah, no, completely had a massive effect on the sales of the game.
So when you say the sales skyrocketed,
well, they doubled. They absolutely doubled.
To what?
Well, 2.
Hang on a minute. So sales to this admittedly like year-old game have now doubled to 2. Were you one of them?
Yeah, I was. Mm-hmm.
And do you know who else bought it? Was it your mum?
It was not my mum, or I thought it might be your mum, but it was a guy called Cyril Moist. Oh, that guy!
The guy from uppersnappers.com, the upskirting cosplayer.
That freaky photo.
Okay, well look, let's move off the story. That was a non-story. Sorry, everyone. We'll move on. I've got one here, and I'm going to just warn you. This is our scheduled coronavirus joke, as we said in the introduction.
Does this make 3?
No, 2. We're still on 2. The other one, the sneeze wasn't. We agreed the sneeze wasn't a joke.
No. Okay, right, go for it.
And this one is actually gaming related as well. Is that because Nintendo fans are outraged that the coronavirus is risking production of the Animal Crossing Unique Switch Edition, which is due for release later in March. The one that's got a nice pale look and 2 little characters on it, pale green. The fans want to know why slave workers that have no rights aren't being forced to work through it all. Because, and I'm reading here a tweet that I've seen from Tracy from Barnstable, because Tracy says, I had a bad cold the other day and still went into the office and I'd run out of limb sip. Why can't these Chinese workers just get over it? So there is a lot of hostility coming from Nintendo fanboys here and girls.
Yeah, there is not a lot of sympathy for the people affected by the coronavirus at this point. That's not particularly sensitive in these troubled times.
Absolutely, and the thing is that just from knowing the Nintendo fandom, this could actually be true. This is one of those stories that you wouldn't. It could be on Kotaku and you would believe it 100%.
Oh, absolutely. And on such a big and important title like I know Animal Crossing to be, this is going to ruffle some feathers in very much the wrong way. Just as a side point, Rudy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What is Animal Crossing?
Well, obviously, I'm a bit more of a Nintendo collector than you are. So Animal Crossing is a game series where there's a bunch of animals and you have to get them from one side of the road to the other. So the old joke, why did the chicken cross the road?
Yeah.
Well, Nintendo made an entire game series out of it.
Okay, and this game series has millions and millions of devoted following fans?
As you can imagine, it's quite hard to get multiple animals across the road safely. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's something to do with like relaxing kind of, I don't know, looking after animals, raising. I don't know. To be honest, I don't actually know. It could be about crossing the road with animals. I don't know. It's not my kind of game, I'll be honest. But hey, millions of people love it.
Yeah. No, people seem to
be.
That's
fine. That's fine.
It's all over
just
Twitter.
Perhaps have a bit of sympathy, Yeah, have a bit of sympathy for people catching the coronavirus. Yeah. Okay, we've got one last story from yourselves.
Yes, story about digital paintings in our news stories again. Oh, no, that was EA. They are totally different.
Yeah,
not
digital
the same
paintings
people.
aren't EA. We've established that for legal reasons.
Yes, we absolutely have. So, digital paintings, long-running holders of the Star Trek gaming IP, are still refusing to release anything from that much-coveted IP, and other companies are kind of circling it, saying, no, give us a chance to make a game out of that. But essentially, they are following the standard digital paintings mantra or procedures of getting 3/4 of the way through the game and then shutting the studio down through complete inept mismanagement.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered this before, so essentially, months on, we've now had one Star Trek IP, which is called Picard's Head, and that's the only game that's come out on the entire thing, and that went down pretty well. But they've already cancelled in that time. In the last 4 to 6 months, they've already cancelled 17 more games and closed 19 more studios. So
I was really looking forward to. I was looking forward to Star Trek Worf's Blade. I thought that was going to be quite good.
Yeah, but there was a flight sim taking Captain Picard to warp speed. I wanted to play that one as well, but I can't play that now because that got binned.
No, that's dead with whatever studio that was making that. It's been amalgamated into Digital Paintings Canada or whatever they're called now.
Yeah, I think we need to probably do a charity appeal on behalf of the franchise at this point, don't you?
I think so. I think we should get our best Star Trek uniforms on and go and petition some people.
Yeah, I think I last wore my Star Trek uniform when I was 17. This could be a tight. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the roundup of our gaming news. Thanks everyone for sticking through that. We've now gone through our coronavirus jokes, and we can carry on with more gaming stuff.
State of the Gaming Nation.
Hey Dante, so bought any new good games recently? Anything of interest?
Well, to be honest, I've been going through charity shops and finding old retro games. I've got Driver, Parallel Lines, Driver 3, and Max Payne 2 that I'm really kind of getting stuck into again, going on a bit of a nostalgia trip. In terms of new games, not really. I finally finished off Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm kind of looking forward to what I might do next. I mean, how about you? What have you been buying?
Well, to be honest, I've had a bit of a buying spree. So, I mean, I saw it. I've been wanting this game for a while. I know it was high on Jim Sterling's list, but I bought Plague Tale Innocence on Xbox because I saw it cheap on sale. I thought, you know what? I've not seen it this cheap before. Boom, I'm going to buy it. Bought it, downloaded it, started that game. And it's fantastic. It's really, really...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really enjoying it.
Haven't you got Game Pass?
Yeah. Of course, got Game Pass. Yeah.
A Plague Tale's now on Game Pass.
What? Hang on, I'll check the app.
Yeah.
Hang on.
No, I've just looked at it earlier today. It's definitely on there. I mean, I was nearly going to buy it because it's on sale. I got the same sale, but then I thought, I'll just get the free Game Pass trial and play it on there.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, for sake! You know what? You know what? This is just becoming a theme. If I'm interested in any game, I thought I did a really good deal there, and it's on Game Pass. I could have played it not for free, but I could have paid it significantly less at the monthly. That's just bloody typical. Anyway, so yeah, I've started.
Yeah.
I bought that. That's lined up, ready to go, downloaded. I could have got it, but I'm not going to dwell on that.
What else did you get that was on Game Pass? It was the Bloodstained or something, wasn't it? That was on Game Pass, and you bought it and then it went straight on Game Pass?
Yeah, I bought the Switch version that was woefully inferior, and then the better version on Xbox. But, again, it's fine. These things happen. There's a lot of games out there. So I did pick up on the Switch physical copy of Children of Mortar.
Hang on. Let me get the app up. That's on Game Pass too. It's on the app.
Oh, no, it's not. Wait, I'm checking. I think you're talking. Wait a sec.
No, it's nowhere to lie.
Okay. I just bought that. I bought it. Oh. All right. Well, I did get I saw another bit of a bargain. Bought Death Squared for £1.24. A little indie game on Game Pass.
Game Pass. Game Pass.
What?
That's their Game Pass.
And it was £1.
Yeah. So let's start doing a total of how much money you've wasted here. Okay, but I'm sure
Okay, it's fairly new, so it's not really on there. I don't want to say anything. Okay, Wolfenstein Youngblood. I bought that in a sale. It was only like £20.
Yep.
So
Game Pass.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Seriously?
Yeah, it's right there on Game Pass. I can see it right on the app right now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. Okay, some other games I picked up recently definitely are going to be on there. Well, I got old school. I got Frogger.
Yep, Game Pass. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Fallout 3.
No, Fallout 3. Yeah, no, totally on Game Pass.
Oh, right. I pre-ordered Last of Us Part 2 for the Sony PlayStation 4. So,
yeah, that's on Game Pass
what?
too.
Of course not.
Yep.
How could that be on Game Pass? That's not
It's
even.
totally on Game Pass.
What? Let's have a quick look. Coming soon. Last of Us Part 2. Is that what? I just paid money for that to get it pre-ordered because I wanted to get.
And if you look on the app, there's actually Last of Us Part 3 on there too.
They
so
haven't
don't buy
even,
that one.
The Last of Us Part. They've even announced that. This is what. What else is coming soon? What else is coming on there in the next? Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Yeah, Cyberpunk. That's on Game Pass.
Bayonetta 3. That's a Nintendo exclusive.
It is, but somehow it's on Game Pass.
Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, no, that's totally on Game Pass. I think that might now be an Xbox exclusive, whereas it should have been for Nintendo.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah. Basically, every single game that you can think of is now on Game Pass, so it's no point buying anything.
So I'm just going to look. My entire gaming catalogue is now on Game Pass. I've just wasted most of my life in money.
Yeah, and money and your life. Yeah, basically all those things have been wasted. So I am so not falling into that trap, though. So, just because I don't get involved with, well, maybe a couple of subscription services. So, yeah, one of the ones I've picked up to follow on from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's on PlayStation now.
What? I just signed up for that.
Yeah, it's annoying. This all digital future. I'm not keen on it.
No, it's no. I like owning my games. And signing up for just sign up for one of these packages. And okay, so how much money? I've wasted at least £20 on that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just move on, shall we? I think we've got an interview coming up now.
Yes, we do. We have quite a big one. So let's move on to that segment.
Hey there, Jambaggers. This is a return of a segment that we called The Jammers, which hasn't been on the podcast for a while, but it's really where we get a chance to interview someone from the gaming world and the gaming scene, and get a little bit in there. And so this month's quite an important one because we've chosen something that's quite topical. So for those of you who aren't in the know, famed Fortnite player and hair dyeing enthusiast Ninja, note, not actually a real ninja, came out with some internet outrage fodder this week when he quoted, and I have here a live recording,
the phrase, "it's just a game," it's such a weak mindset. You don't care what happens, losing, imperfection of a craft. When you stop getting angry after losing, you've lost twice. There's always something to learn and always room for improvement. Never settle. So,
obviously some fighting talk there from Ninja, which is suggesting really that if you're not getting angry at games, if you're not getting involved with them, then you're not playing them right. It's, particularly there. So, to that end, we at Jambags, we have reached out to Ninja for an interview, but we've got no response. we also didn't know how to contact him to get a response. But anyway, so we did the next best thing and found our own Twitch streamer, influencer and hair dye colour aficionado, Lionel Salty Tears Inflictor, for comment. Now, to be clear, Lionel is a competitive streamer who started on Twitch before a permaban for language and bad behaviour, who then moved to YouTube before also getting banned, and is now got one strike left on Mixer, who is on the verge of banning him. Lionel puts this down to the fact that his gaming technique is based on winning and that others can't handle that, while Twitch, YouTube and Mixer have stated that the bans and warnings to do with toxic behaviour, lewd exposure of body parts in a threatening manner, and unconfirmed reports of doxing and sending fecal matter through the post to other competitive gamers. So we thought we'd have a chat with Lionel and just see how things are going. So I've got Lionel here with me. Lionel, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Actually, before we start, I don't want to be referred to as Lionel. That is my loser name. My name is Salty Tears Inflictor, and that is how I compete. You can shorten it to STI if you wish.
Okay, so maybe we'll stick with Salty Tears Inflictor rather than STI, if that's okay.
Whatever.
So, Salty Tears Inflictor. I mean, tell us a bit about the games you compete and stream with. What kind of stuff are you famous for?
Well, I play most of the frontline competitive games. Simpsons Smash and Grab, Call of Duty Ghosts, and occasionally Advanced Warfare, Silent Shooter, Bang Bang Wiffle Fire, and Battle Royale with Cheese. The big ones, the big Battle Royale games. I've come nearly twice in the last 47, which is pretty feckin' impressive, you see.
So, going on to, you've read Ninja's quote. Why do you think that players should get angry when they lose at games?
Well, Rudy Manchego, I am a purist. My feelings about games go back to the very core and root and history of gaming. The way I see it, video games, in their purest essence, are about dominating other players and gaining total, brilliant, amazing game skills at the expense of others.
I mean, that's an interesting concept there. Let's dig into that. So you think that video games, the very first video games, we're going back to the days of, Pong and,
Pong,
and then also, moving on to the more competitive games and stuff that came out in the 90s and stuff like that. You think they were created for the purpose of making others feel stupid and giving yourself, what did you call it again?
Totally brilliant, amazing game skills, or teabags for sure.
So, so it's about giving yourself a teabag. I mean, that sounds. I mean, admittedly, actually, I'll probably say you're right there. It does sound like a lot of skill. So, I mean, when it comes to teabagging, which of the earliest games do you think really exemplify this?
Oh, the real pioneering classics from the early days of computing, like Counter-Strike Source and Quake 3 Arena, proper retro classics from the dawn of gaming history.
I mean, well, you say the first games ever created, a dawn of, I mean...
Well, I mean, yeah, it's close. I mean, it's not quite as old as Doom 2.
But I mean, they're all sequels. How can they be going back to the original games if they're sequels? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I mean,
there were no games before those. What are you talking about?
I'm fairly certain there were. I've been to a museum and had a lot of old games in it.
How old are you? You're irrelevant.
Okay. All right. So I mean, anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. To your expressing anger when losing. I mean, what's that about?
When someone else achieves a teabag over me, well, you see, the very nature of competition in gaming, and any sport really, is to strive for excellence. And if I, as a professional of the sport, don't achieve that, I get frustrated.
And what form does that frustration take? What does getting frustrated mean to you?
I get angry. I throw a controller at one of my mother's priceless vases. Hopefully only the controller breaks. They're much easier to replace than priceless vases. Then I'll cry. A lot. Solidly crying for an hour. Then I'll realise it's the other person's fault. I pay my good friend at the council to find out their address. And I go take a shit on their lawn. Then I'll go and buy some Marmite rolls and some Dairy Lee and do it all again.
Wow, that's what... So you're saying that is, that's what gaming is all about for you, and so to be for everyone that uses a controller, regardless of platform and game they're playing, just any gamer should be doing that.
Yes. If you stop defecating the lawns of people that beat you in an entirely inconsequential online game, frankly, you have lost twice.
I mean, I suppose that is a lot. I mean, I guess looking back at Ninja's statement, would you say that that is actually what, Ninja, such a successful streamer, is telling people to go out there and shit?
Ninja is absolutely a lawn shit. I've seen him do it.
Wow. I mean, what's his technique in terms of, you mentioned Marmite and Dairy Lee, but what does he use?
He's a
tournament.
He's a Weetabix man. He's very much about Weetabix and Frosted Flakes. All the heavy cereals. He likes to leave his mark. It's much thicker and less runny from a ninja.
Oh wow. Okay, that's well, you heard it here first, folks, I suppose. But I mean, what is I suppose what's your advice for those that state that playing games can just be for fun, for example, playing a calming single player campaign with no other players. Why do you need to get angry for that?
I'm sorry, what type of game are you talking about?
Like a narrative game or a single player open world type game where you're just on your own as a player, exploring and telling a story.
No, sorry, you've completely lost me.
Well, I mean, I don't know, Assassin's Creed games or, The Last of Us or...
Last of Us? These are games?
Spider-Man
these are real games?
These are all games, yeah. These are all very famous, very successful games.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Spider-Man? No.
Okay, what about you play the Call of Duty games, you've said. You highlighted Ghosts and Advanced Warfare for some knows reason, but what about the campaigns for those games? They've all got, star-studded campaigns.
No. I never select those. Those are just messages from politicians wanting to ban video games and get elected, aren't they? I mean, my father's always talking about campaigns on the news. He's a campaign manager, Well, I mean, he was until I divorced him out of my life and sued him for everything he owned.
Right, okay. Sounds like he probably got a better deal. Salty Tears Inflictor. How do you think going back to your anger issues here, how do you think that getting this angry with games increases your enjoyment, makes you a better person, which we all presumably strive to be?
Let me put it as reasonably and rationally as I can, Rudy Manchego. Getting angry in the loudest and most scatologically demeaning way towards others is a way of expressing what all gamers and people that I encounter in real life should already know. That I am an alpha gamer, a golden joystick god, someone who ruddy well should have won that last game, and only didn't because you're a camping noob with no teabagging skills. And they know that I will beat them next time, and that you and all you savages, soy boy beta cucks, had better watch your fucking backs and your front lawns.
I mean, that doesn't actually answer my question.
Silence!
Ow.
You mediocre, non-competitive and soy-loving tosser. Now, can I have a lift home? My mother says it's past my bedtime and I have 3 lawns to take a shit on my way home.
No, could you please leave? You just slapped me.
Okay, am I still getting the 10 quid?
Here's a fiver, now fuck off. Where do we get these fucking pricks?
Okay, that brings us to the end of another Jambags Gaming podcast, and we end the show, like we always do, with some of our listener questions. We've got a couple this month, haven't we, Rudy?
We do. We have 2 from a regular contributor and another one that came in randomly, anonymously. So do you want to pick the ones from our regular contributor first? Yeah,
let's take the ones from... Is it Dazzleator?
It is a Dazzleator. Has got in contact again.
Hey, big shout out to the guy that we are having the beef with, so we should... treat these questions carefully.
Yeah. So the first question, and these ones we had to rack our brains on, probably one of the most. What critically acclaimed game did you actually hate, Dante?
Oh, wow, yeah. This is a critically acclaimed game. So, I mean, is it critically acclaimed, or is it just one that sort of everybody loves, or does it have to be by critics?
I think it's going to be something that's recognised as being a good game. So gamers like it, and then it's like a really artsy fartsy game, but gamers like it, and it's generally credited to being a good game critically, I'm sure you'll always on the internet find,
all right.
Unless it's Zelda.
Yeah. I got it, and I've got a good one. I am going to slam not just one game, but an entire series of games. Although I haven't even seen the third one, but the Borderlands series, because they're all the f***ing same.
Wow, controversial there. A lot of people like those games.
Yeah, a lot of people do like those games, and again, I just never really got into them. Now, there were sort of two ways of playing Borderlands. My friends would say to me that it's quite possible to play a Borderlands game on your own, completely solo, to which I say bollocks. If you try and play it by yourself, the bosses are way too hard and they take forever to get through, and it's an absolute complete chore. The other way is to team up with said friends who have already played the game like numerous times, rush ahead and complete all the objectives, and I'm left kind of trying to pick out what I think the best gun is out of all the guns that got dropped on the floor by everybody else a few minutes ago. Just playing catch up the whole time.
So basically,
the humour seemed really... Go on.
Your problem is that you essentially just left on co-op going through the bins looking for what people have thrown out. Is that
That is basically it, yeah. Okay. I found the humour in the game to be sort of juvenile and rubbish, a bit like a Transformers movie. Just didn't get into it like a lot of my friends did. So, sorry, friends, if you're listening. Borderlands sucks.
Wow. Okay, wow, you have possibly annoyed quite a lot of people there with that one. That's a very popular series. So, good.
Yeah,
okay.
So maybe we could get some more beef with people that like it.
Yeah, Borderlands fans, contact not me. I don't know what kind of fan base you have, but contact Dante and show him your beef or something. I don't know, whatever that is. Show him it's on. You're on. I don't know who's on. Anyway,
where's the beef? Where is the beef? Anyway, what's your answer to this one?
Probably not as controversial. I think the game that I can remember that everyone said recommended and I bought at the time was Grand Theft Auto 4, and I did not like that game.
So you think mine's controversial and you're going to slam a GTA game?
I think GTA 4 is one of those ones that people don't remember it as fondly. I think at the time when I got it when it was relatively new. So, I mean, I'd loved Vice City, San Andreas, played those an awful lot on the PS2. When I went 360 and it came out, that was one of the first games I got for it, because I got it quite late. It just came out. I was like, yep, going to get this. Going to have, all the time in the world and explore it. And I just was bored. I know that necessarily people say the stories aren't always great in GTA games, but I didn't like the protagonist. I didn't like the micromanagement of things. Like, I was having to date people and then, worry about whether they're going to have sex with me and stuff like that. I was like, that's too much my real life. And again,
if you turn them down, if you put hang up on the telephone, that in-game telephone you've got, they get really snarky with you. I was like,
this isn't fun. And then I got stuck in traffic jams. I was like, this is my life. This is my real life. Not having sex and getting stuck in traffic jams. But now coming home and not having sex and playing traffic games and getting trapped in a game. So I just did not enjoy it, and I just thought this is just really boring. And I think I just sold it. Some of the older the Vice City games and that sort of thing, you meet a lady of the night and go somewhere and have a fun time. Even that in Grand Theft Auto 4 caused the main character to go, oh my god, I've really hit bottom now by having sex with a prostitute or something like that. It's like, that just completely kills it. What I will say is, and you may not have gotten this far with it, is that the Ballad of Gay Tony expansion is worth playing, adds a lot of the fun back into it, and was probably the best the best experience I had playing Grand Theft Auto 4 was with the Ballad of Gay Tony expansion. Everything else was a bit on the grim dark side, I will concede. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I know I was never going to get around to playing DLC for a game I didn't enjoy. So that's part one of the Dazzle's questions. The second one is a follow-up. What's the absolute worst game you've ever played?
Wow. We read reviews of games so we can avoid playing terrible games, right?
True. I mean, it's more likely that people will like a game that you don't than it will be that we play a terrible game itself. But I've got one for you, and this comes with a sad story. So this is a game that I will be highly surprised that most people have played. But it's a game called Time Lord that I played on the NES, the NES, back in the early 90s. Now, to give you some context, I'd got a NES secondhand, came down from a friend when they got a Super Nintendo because they were rich and I wasn't, and I got an NES, and games were really expensive in those days. And there was a sale in, I think, Woolworths, going back in time for those oldies, and they had a NES game for like £12 or £13, which was expensive still then, but still cheaper like than the 30, 40, £50. And bear in mind, you're going back, 30 odd years, it's quite a long time. So I managed to emotionally blackmail my grandparents into buying me this game. And I was like, fuck, I've got another game. So I didn't get many games. I was like, I've got another game, I got it. And I never got past the second level. And probably because I was a kid and I was a crap player, but I felt my deaths were unfair. I couldn't avoid damage. I couldn't work out where to go. And it was just a really crap game. But recently I got for Christmas like one of those sort of emulators, got loads of NES games. The cheap sort of ones from China. So I gave it as a present. I didn't buy it or emulate anything, so I'm not being illegal. And it had Time Lord on it. I was like, you know what? I bet that I was just just a bit of an arrogant kid. And I played it, and I still think it's one of the worst games I've ever played. I just hate it. I hate the music. I hate everything about it. It's just. And I googled it before this recording podcast, and there's a few people that gave it 4 or 5 star reviews and say, it's underappreciated. It's like, no, it isn't. It's rubbish. It's a rubbish game. It's not fun in any way. It's
not affiliated with Doctor Who in any way.
No, it's also
it's
that's also thing. Nothing to do with flipping Time Lords. It's just someone called Time Lord, and it's got a really cheesy front cover. And anyway, I hate that game. What about yours, Dante?
Okay, the worst game I can remember playing, I'm sure there's probably some other ones out there that I've probably forgotten about, but the most memorable, awful game I've played, I think, was Postal 2 on the PC.
Wow.
Yeah, no, the graphics were just terrible, the controls didn't feel responsive. The most novel thing about it, which is what all the fanboys of that game seem to like, is the fact that you can take your wang out and take a piss on things and people. And yeah, that just didn't really inspire me. It wasn't what I would call cutting edge humor. It was just puerile crap, which is normally stuff I would be okay with, but there is a limit. So yeah, Postal 2, terrible combat, terrible story, and just stupid gimmicks that did not make a good game.
Wow. Okay. It does sound pretty poor, actually. I mean, I like the wang bit. You had me at wang bit, but if you're telling me the wang bit didn't make up for it, then I'll believe you, because yeah. Okay, so
I think it's one of those things like that movie Pixels. It's aimed at people like us, but it's still terrible. It's worse than you can possibly imagine. So yeah. Should we move on to our final question?
Absolutely. Thanks, Dazzleator, for those 2 questions. Although we do have a beef, and probably we're going to have to shoot you dead. But anyway. Our final question, anonymous question pitched in, but I'll let you ask this one, Dante.
Okay, so the question we got sort of dropped in our inbox anonymously. Hollywood has got so desperate for ideas they started asking not overly popular podcasters for movie pitches for movies that are based on video games. So again, I want to kind of break out that horse and start flogging it as well, because it doesn't seem to have worked out that well. So the question is, which game gets the movie treatment? What director, and who stars in it? So, Rudy, what have you got for us?
I've got some ideas, but I want you to lead on this one, because you're a movie aficionado as well.
I've got a couple. Yeah, I have a sort of 2 that I came up with here, and I can't really decide between them. The first one is a BioShock movie. Mm-hmm. Directed by Denis Villeneuve of Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival fame, starring Jake Gyllenhaal in the Jack role of the first BioShock. I think that would make a fantastic movie with some great imagery, and in the hands of a skilled director, it could be good. The other one I had was a Mass Effect adaptation, which would star Chris Evans, because he's not that busy now, because he's not doing Marvel things anymore, at least that we know of, and he may have some cameos and all that sort of thing. And directed by Rian Johnson, because he did such a bang-up job with the Star Wars movie.
Wow. Okay, we different opinion there on as a fan of Rian Johnson's other films, other than The Last Jedi. I'm not going to fall for this bait. You're clearly trying to get a bit more. You're trying to start beef with me now. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so you've gone very much for.
Would you like a scone? Would you like a scone, Rudy? I have a scone here with jam and cream on it in whatever order you don't like.
Anyway, You've gone for the blockbuster angle here. You've taken
Yes,
I mean, you don't get much more epic narrative games than Mass Effect, do you? You know, in terms of scope and scale.
No.
You know, universe in peril, that kind of stuff, an entire galaxy.
Yeah, no, but
in danger.
BioShock is a little bit more personal as well, but it also has quite a large amount of scope about the human condition as well. So yeah, I think I've picked some fairly broad, sweeping narrative games. What have you gone for?
I've gone for something that I think needs to happen in the game. So, in 1993, the best video game adaptation was ever released in Super Mario Brothers. Okay, with Bob Hoskins.
What? Sorry, I threw up a little in my mouth then, but keep going. I want to hear this to the end.
I'm gonna just hear me out this. The best video game adaptation of Super Mario Brothers, which was just.
Sorry, that got stuck in my throat again. I will let you finish. Come on, go.
Perfection in movies. And what I want to do now is I want a Super Mario Brothers 2. Okay. Now here's where it's going to really get wacky, right? Which is like in the West, Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES, was actually like Doki Doki Panic. It was a Japanese game, and they made it really weird and quirky, and they just basically dropped in Mario, characters. I want a really far out, trippy one, but in terms of that's the film I want. The director couldn't give a to be honest. Don't care who directs it, as long as they've got they're high on Sonic.
The guy that did the guy that did Doctor Strange might be good. Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, he can go absolutely. If he got sacked because he wanted to make a horror film. He can go arse wild with this one. All I care about is it's Super Mario Brothers, the sequel, Super Mario Brothers 2. It's far out, and it's got the original cast.
The original cast?
Yeah.
Right, just remind me who's in that.
Bob Hoskins. Dennis Hopper.
Isn't he... Aren't they no longer with... How are you going to get them back from beyond the grave?
Well, it's a little thing called CGI. They made Robert Downey Jr. look really, really young in Captain America: Civil War. They do it all the time now in films, so we just bring him back from the dead.
Right.
I mean, there's probably. I'm going to guess that on the cutting room floor of Super Mario Brothers, there was so much unused footage because all the actors were given such a range in that film that I reckon if you got the dailies from that, pick them up, you could convert that with some CGI wizardry and just pretty much probably get any acting scenario you need. I mean, it's an Englishman playing a New Yorker who's based on an Italian plumber. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the acting's like. It was just perfect. He just got it right. It was so right. So that's what I want to see from a new film. Stick your Tomb Raiders, stick your Mass Effect, stick your, everything you want. Super Mario Brothers is what I want to see. I want to see that film, but Super Mario Brothers Doki Doki Panic style. That's going to be amazing.
I think you have been trusting the fungus a little bit too heavily there. Because that sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible, but it will sound better if Bob Hoskins said it.
Well, anything sounds good when Bob Hoskins says it, but he's dead.
CGI.
CGI his voice back to life now. Okay, right.
CGI.
Well, sure, yeah. Okay, I think is that all our questions?
That is all our questions. So I think we've pretty much come to the end of our podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you for all our new listeners. We've got a bit of an influx again over the last month. So thank you so much. If you like us, there are lots of ways to find us. Dante, would you like to kick off some of the ways people can find us on the intermaleg?
Okay. On the interwebs, you can find us on jambags.co.uk, the website. That has got links to all of our major areas. You've got the Jambags Facebook page. If you search Jambags on Facebook, you will find our page with our logo. You've got the 2 Twitter accounts run by Jambags personnel. You've got at Jambags_UK, which is run by Rudy Manchego, and at DanSolo96, which is run by myself, Dante Rodriguez. We have the Instagram account, which is also at Jambags_UK. That's run by me and mostly features video game crushes of mine over the years. I expect there's going to be a fair amount of Mona Sachs on there over the next few months while I'm playing Max Payne 2. You can actually listen to the podcast on our YouTube channel, as well as some other YouTube information that we've got, some other YouTube videos that we produce, but we are releasing the podcast onto YouTube. You can find it on Spotify, Simplecast, and Apple Podcasts is also where you can get the podcast from. Rudy, what have I forgotten?
Nothing. You've covered it all. Well, we'd like to say to anyone that if you are listening to us on Spotify or on podcasts or any podcast app that allows you to leave a review, please do leave a review, and you know what you think of it. Nice reviews will be better than nasty ones, but anything will be good. It all drives the algorithms up. Same if you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, all that kind of stuff really does help. And as Dante said, our website also has regular blog posts and so on as well, so check those out. So that's pretty much everywhere you can find us. Please do engage with us, we like it, and we're hoping to probably put out on social media a few events we're wanting to attend to in the next few months, so you might be wandering around with our ridiculous Jambags t-shirts if you see us. So.
Oh yeah, no, and if you like what you see here and you want to see here more, click right here to see. No, that's Jeremy Johns. I am not Jeremy Johns, and nor is Henry Cooper. No, that doesn't work. We need to get our own exit to
we
speech.
do
buys and click here to see these more's stuff.
Click my bits and we'll get on your tits.
Shuffle.
No, that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It sounds like it sounds a bit rapey.
Click the bell and go to hell. No, that's also not really gonna.
Click the bell and hope we don't smell.
Oh, that's. Well, no, I had a curry earlier. We'll need to think of this one. If anyone's got any ideas for a slogan to send us, or click the link, play with my dink. No, that doesn't work either. Right, guys, we'll see you later. Right, so Dante, as we said earlier, and I've rehearsed, I really want to get the emotions of this scene over across there. If we're ever going to get this remake or this sequel off the ground, okay, it's going to be wacky. I want to get some major investment. Disney are throwing money all over the place. So Netflix. Okay, so you in character? You in character?
I am in character.
Okay, here we go.
Right there. Oh, Mario from Brooklyn and also Italy. And what's that, Luigi? How are you?
Hey, I am Luigi, yeah? And I am in this movie too.
Yeah, so basically what we want to do is we're going to go over to the Mushroom Kingdom, check out on Princess Daisy pants, and then we're going to jump on some stuff, lift it overhead and throw it at someone else. You up with that?
Yeah, Mario. How about I take some of these mushrooms that I got over here and I'd eat them? Do you think that can go wrong?
No, I think you should eat all of those. Yeah, eat all those slags, and then we'll go bounce in the Mushroom Kingdoms and kick off some more slags.
Mario, it's like this entire house is haunted for my spin-off sequel.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll jump on the mice's heads.
Okay, and scene. Okay, Dante, did you capture all that? Yeah.
That really did not sound particularly that sounded fantastic. There is absolutely no way that this film can fail. Hey, did you CGI me? Did you CGI me to say that?
Hey, look,
No.
it's easier than you thought. If I can bring Bob Hoskins to life, I can definitely get you to do whatever I want on screen.
Rudy Manchego is the best podcaster on the Jambags podcast. Hey, I did not say that!
Yeah, this is really good, this software. I tell you what, I'm really glad I downloaded it. Anyway, Dante, catch you later. I'm off to Netflix. Bye.